At 80, Tom Selleck finally tells the truth about James Garner. Tom Selleck was born Thomas William Selleck on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan, into a working-class family that would later move to Sherman Oaks, California. Growing up in Southern California during the post-World War II era, Selleck developed a passion for sports, particularly basketball, and he initially thought his life would head in that direction. He attended the University of Southern California on a basketball scholarship, playing for the USC Trojans while also studying business administration. At this time, acting was not something he imagined as a career, but fate had other plans. A drama coach at USC encouraged him to consider acting, and after taking some classes and doing a few commercial appearances, including the now famous Pepsi commercials of the 1960s, Selleck found himself drawn to the stage and camera. His natural charisma, tall stature, and rugged good looks made him a standout, paving the way for what would soon become a legendary career in television and film. Selleck's early years as an actor were filled with both struggle and perseverance. He made guest appearances on several television shows throughout the 1960s and 1970s, including roles in The Dating Game and The Rockford Files. While these were relatively small opportunities, they allowed him to gain experience, refine his craft, and establish valuable connections in Hollywood. One of the most important moments in his early career was his friendship with James Garner, who became both a mentor and a supporter. At the same time, Selleck was also considered for several major roles in films, but many of those early opportunities slipped away. One of the most notable near misses was his audition for the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Though George Lucas and Steven Spielberg favored him, scheduling conflicts with his breakthrough television show kept him from taking on what might have been another iconic role. The turning point in Tom Selleck's career, and the role that made him a household name, came in 1980, when he landed the part of private investigator Thomas Magnum in the hit CBS series Magnum P.I. With his trademark Hawaiian shirts, Ferrari sports car, and instantly recognizable mustache, Selleck became the epitome of cool and rugged masculinity in the 1980s. The show ran for 8 successful seasons, earning Selleck an Emmy Award and a Golden Globe Award. Beyond its commercial success, Magnum P.I. allowed Selleck to create one of the most enduring television characters of the decade. Charming, yet tough, witty, yet deeply human. Fans admired not just the action and mystery of the show, but also Selleck's ability to bring warmth, humor, and authenticity to the role. His portrayal was so iconic that even decades later, when people think of television detectives, Thomas Magnum often comes to mind. Selleck did not limit himself to television. He transitioned into film as well, starring in a wide range of movies during the 1980s and 1990s. Among his most notable works was 3 Men and a Baby, 1987, a comedy that became a massive box office hit and showcased his versatility beyond action roles. He also appeared in westerns such as Quigley Down Under, 1990, a film that highlighted his love for the genre and demonstrated that his rugged screen presence fit perfectly into the cowboy tradition of Hollywood cinema. These roles added depth to his career, proving he could be both a comedic actor and a serious, dramatic performer. In later years, Selleck continued to stay relevant in Hollywood by reinventing himself and taking on roles that reflected his maturity and gravitas. Since 2010, he has starred as Frank Reagan in the long-running CBS police drama Blue Bloods. As the patriarch of a family of New York law enforcement officers, Selleck has brought dignity, authority, and emotional depth to the role, earning praise from critics and fans alike. His performance on the show has become another career-defining moment, cementing his status as one of the most enduring television stars of all time. From 1971 to 1982, Tom Selleck was married to model Jacqueline Ray, a striking and glamorous woman whose career in the fashion world placed her in the spotlight during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Their marriage lasted over a decade, and during that time, Selleck made one of the most defining personal decisions of his life. He chose to legally adopt Jacqueline's young son, Kevin Shepard, who had been born in 1966 from her previous relationship. This adoption reflected Selleck's deep sense of responsibility and his desire to create a stable family life despite the pressures of his rising career in Hollywood. Kevin would grow up not only with the influence of his mother and stepfather, but also surrounded by the unique atmosphere of Hollywood in the 1970s, where Selleck's career was beginning to transition from small television appearances to major recognition. Kevin later pursued his own path in life, finding his calling in music. He became a professional drummer and eventually gained success as part of the American rock band Tonic, a group that found fame in the 1990s with hits that placed them firmly in the mainstream alternative rock scene. While Kevin's journey was his own, Selleck's adoption and support during his formative years clearly gave him a foundation from which he could pursue his artistic ambitions. After his divorce from Jacqueline Ray, Selleck's personal life eventually brought him across the Atlantic, where he would meet the woman who would become his lifelong partner. On August 7, 1987, Tom Selleck married Gilly Joan Mack, a British actress and dancer born in 1957. Their meeting was serendipitous. Selleck, who was in London for work, attended a performance of the musical Cats, one of the most popular stage productions of its era. It was there that he noticed Gilly, who was performing in the show, and was immediately captivated by her charm and presence. What began as a chance encounter blossomed into a romance, and despite Selleck's growing fame in America and Gilly's established career in Britain, the two built a strong bond. Their marriage ceremony was kept relatively private, reflecting Selleck's preference for keeping his personal life away from the intense glare of the Hollywood spotlight. The union proved enduring, marked by genuine companionship and mutual respect. Together, Tom and Gilly welcomed their only child, Hannah Margaret Selleck, born on December 16, 1988. Unlike many celebrity children who gravitate toward the entertainment industry, Hannah chose a very different path. She developed a passion for horses and equestrian sports from an early age, influenced in part by the open spaces and natural environment in which she was raised. Over the years, Hannah grew into a successful and highly respected competitive equestrian, representing her family with elegance and discipline on the international stage. Selleck has often spoken with pride about Hannah's achievements, admiring her dedication and determination to pursue her passion in a field that demands both physical strength and mental resilience. The Selleck family made their home in Southern California, choosing to live in a serene and expansive setting rather than in the bustling neighborhoods of Hollywood. They reside on a 60-acre avocado ranch located in Hidden Valley near Thousand Oaks, Westlake Village, California. The property, steeped in a bit of Hollywood history, was once owned by legendary entertainer Dean Martin, and it provided the Sellecks with both privacy and a sense of connection to the land. Unlike many actors who surround themselves with the trappings of luxury, Selleck immersed himself in the everyday responsibilities of ranch life. The avocado groves, dirt roads, and open fields gave him not just a retreat, but a place where he could physically engage with the world around him. In a 2012 interview with People magazine, Selleck spoke candidly about the satisfaction he found in maintaining the ranch. He explained that, for him, hard physical work on the land was far more fulfilling than spending hours in a gym. "So I like to get outside and work on the ranch, from fixing roads to clearing brush," he said, emphasizing how the natural labor kept him grounded. With his characteristic humor, he added, "I hate going to the gym, so sweating outdoors sure beats sitting on a stationary bike staring at my navel." This quote not only highlighted his practical and down-to-earth nature, but also showed how Selleck embraced simplicity despite his fame. He even quipped that he worked cheaper than anyone he could hire, revealing his strong work ethic and the pride he took in contributing personally to the upkeep of his home. For Selleck, the ranch is more than a piece of property. It represents a lifestyle choice and a philosophy. It provides balance against the often chaotic world of Hollywood, giving him a place to recharge and to be himself away from cameras and scripts. His life on the ranch, alongside Jilly and Hannah, symbolizes his devotion to family, privacy, and authenticity, values that have helped him maintain both a long-lasting career and a stable personal life in an industry where such stability is rare. At the age of 80, Tom Selleck has reached a stage in life where reflection feels not only natural, but necessary. After decades of maintaining a respectful silence, he has finally chosen to speak openly about one of the most profound influences in his life and career, James Garner. For years, Selleck had carefully avoided discussing Garner in depth, fearing that his words might not capture the immense respect and gratitude he felt. Yet now, with the perspective of a long and accomplished career, he is ready to share the truth, his truth, about the man he considered not just a colleague, but a mentor, a role model, and ultimately, a friend. Selleck recalls that his admiration for Garner began long before the two ever worked together. Like millions of Americans, Selleck had grown up watching Maverick in the 1950s, where Garner exuded a natural, easygoing charisma that set him apart from the rugged, brooding cowboys of the era. Unlike many actors who seemed trapped within a single persona, Garner had a gift for blending toughness with charm, a wry sense of humor with genuine humanity. To Selleck, Garner represented something rare in Hollywood: authenticity. He wasn't an actor trying to be larger than life. He was a man who carried himself with such sincerity that audiences believed in him instantly. That early admiration turned into a life-changing opportunity in the 1980s, when Selleck, already famous as Thomas Magnum on Magnum, P.I., was cast alongside Garner in The Rockford Files, Friends and Foul Play, and later worked with him on other projects. Selleck confesses that he was nervous before their first meeting, worried that the larger-than-life television icon might be aloof or dismissive. Instead, Garner disarmed him immediately with warmth, humor, and humility. Jim didn't have a phony bone in his body, Selleck has admitted. He treated everybody, from the director to the guy holding the boom microphone, with the same level of respect. That taught me more about being a professional than any acting class ever could. Selleck has also revealed that Garner's influence extended far beyond professional courtesy. During long days on set, Garner became a sounding board for Selleck, offering advice not just on the mechanics of acting, but on how to survive in an industry that often chews up its stars. Garner warned him about the pitfalls of fame, ego, entitlement, and the temptation to compromise one's integrity for success. He encouraged Selleck to keep his feet firmly on the ground, reminding him that no role, no paycheck, and no burst of publicity was worth sacrificing one's character. These lessons stuck with Selleck, who has often credited Garner with helping him navigate Hollywood without losing his sense of self. But perhaps the deepest truth Selleck finally admits at 80 is how personally indebted he feels to Garner for shaping the kind of man he aspired to be. Watching Garner's career, Selleck saw that it was possible to be both a star and a family man, both admired on screen and beloved off-screen. Garner's long marriage to his wife, Lois Clark, inspired Selleck to prioritize his own family life, even at the height of his fame. When Selleck stepped away from Magnum P.I. to spend more time with his wife Jilly and their daughter Hannah on their California ranch, it was, in many ways, a decision rooted in Garner's example of choosing love and stability over the relentless grind of Hollywood. In looking back, Selleck doesn't shy away from confessing how much Garner's friendship meant to him on a personal level. The two men shared a bond built on humor, mutual admiration, and a shared understanding of what it meant to carry the weight of a hit television series. Garner, who endured his own health struggles and career frustrations, often offered perspective when Selleck was overwhelmed by the demands of fame. He had this way of cutting through your worries with a laugh or a story, Selleck recalls. Jim could make you feel like everything was going to be all right, even when the pressure was unbearable. Now, as Selleck reflects on his own legacy, he admits that part of it is inseparable from Garner's. He sees Garner not just as a mentor, but as a mirror, someone who showed him what kind of actor and what kind of man he wanted to become. Garner's generosity, humor, and humanity left an imprint that Selleck carries with him to this day. In finally speaking so openly, Selleck hopes that others will understand how vital Garner's presence was in his life. "I owe him more than I can ever repay," Selleck admits. "The truth is, James Garner set the standard for everything I've tried to be, and at